So today I am thrilled to have on the program a tax preparer, tax strategist, and certified tax coach. Have you met Chris? All right, so tell me a little bit about, everyone's familiar with a tax preparer, right? That's something we all pretty much deal with every year. But the tax strategist and the tax coach are not something you hear about very often. What is that?
Yeah, so I just right before this, getting on here with you, just was talking to a super sharp gal, and she's switching over to me to do tax plan and tax preparation. And she had what somebody like I used to be. I used to be somebody that would do quality tax work and say, here's what let's maximize the deductions, but not really ask a lot of exploratory questions, or if questions were asked, well, it's too late to do anything about that because the year is closed and it's too late, right? So not very proactive. And I would say, oh, if you want to do this, you should execute. Here's the strategy. And I would just kind of spray a bunch of information out at the person. And then they'd leave my desk and go away and come back the next year. I'd be like, oh, did you do that? And they said, no, I got distracted. I got busy. I didn't, they didn't execute. So they got knowledge, but they didn't execute. And she was telling me, she's like, yeah, he would tell me all these great things and I just never had time to do them. I said, that's where I'm different. As a certified tax coach, we go through and ask a lot of really pertinent questions and say, what's going on in your world that you could be doing better? And what are you not doing that you should be? And then let's just not talk about it. Let's do it. Let's put that into motion. So I'm part of your team where you're not just left on your own, kind of the softball idea. It's like, hey, you're part of a group and a team where you're not alone. You've got somebody to back you up and support you and help you get to your goal.
So speaking of teams, you had mentioned collaboration earlier, and I think a lot of people, as we all went into lockdown, just kind of thought the opportunity to work with other people, network with other businesses, and help one another kind of went out the window with that. But you've kept really, really active in still networking, connecting, and helping other businesses out there. And I was wondering if you could share any advice down that line.
Especially working with my clients now, and actually I've gotten several referrals, and I'm very grateful for people mentioning my name and saying, hey, you should really talk to Chris, because they have downtime. It has led the conversation to, who do you want on your team? Who do you have backing you up? And in this time of isolation and separation, it should make you realize, hey, do I have somebody that's on my team and looking out for my best interests? I think tough times are when you find out who really you can rely on, right?
Yeah.
And that should be the same for your accountant. Your accountant should be somebody that is looking and taking the time and making the time to be proactive, is taking the time to ask questions that you've never been asked before by an accountant, and is taking the time to say, hey, let's not just focus on the past. Let's also look forward into the future. And how can I bless your life by saving tax dollars? So that would be the one thing, if you're looking at who's on your team and questioning, do they really have my back in terms of helping me save dollars on taxes?
So how can people get in touch with Chris?
Yeah, the easiest way is my website, bridgestaxstrategies.com/schedule. So bridgestaxstrategies.com/schedule. Talking about time and saving time. That's the easiest way to get on my schedule, to book an appointment. We can do a Zoom. All my meetings default to Zoom initially. Once we get out of coronavirus, that's an area where I save people time on the road. It's let's have a conversation. The discovery process is, let's just talk. How can I help? Do I have a place in your life? Yes or no? So I always say, let's start there. And bridgestaxstrategies.com/schedule.
Wise words from a wise man. Chris Middleton, Bridges Tax Strategies. Thank you for coming on the show today.
So, Kenny, we're not done. Thank you. You're part of my team, and I'm really grateful for you and all the stuff that you do for me. So, how can people get in touch with you? And don't you have something called Have You Met, like a little show?
That's right. I have a show that is specifically meant for highlighting business owners and entrepreneurs. I want to give some spotlight and some love and a shout out to every business owner out there who is especially feeling the pinch and struggling through the COVID-19 crisis. And then the easiest way to get in touch with me is at contentclub.video.
Perfect. So, contentclub.video.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And you'll chat with anybody and have them potentially as a guest on your show.
Anytime, and also giving free coaching to anyone who wants help with their own video endeavors for their business.
Awesome. Well, Kenny, I am grateful. You were actually going to be one of the people I was going to have as a guest for my luncheon, and I was going to give away my 30-second infomercial to you. So I'm going to count this as your 30-second infomercial and just say spotlight on you and how incredible you are and how blessed I am to have you in my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. You are the best.